unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
Bob Charles.
Oh, yeah, you got the Bob Charles Show.
You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into
Bob Charles.
The secret of the technology used in the crystal skulls has still not been unraveled.
Don't forget, it's our world. Start taking care of it. It's time to think for yourself.
Bob Charles.
Open your heart to reality and to all the misinformation you hear. Just say no.
Hi, this is Bob Charles on Pyramid One Radio. Let me tell you about a new sponsor we have on the radio station. Its name is Atlantic Credit Repair. Yes, your credit can be fixed at a very low price for the summer. This is how we do it. If you go to a realtor or even a car company and you're not or you can't get credit, in other words, you go for a pre-qual, and you cannot be qualified for a mortgage. You cannot get the mortgage for the dream house you've been drooling for. This is how you do it. You go to www.atlanticrepairllc.com. You go to the middle of the page. You can get a free copy of your credit report right from the credit bureaus. That's right, right from the credit bureaus, one at a time. Then follow the instructions that are on that page. It tells you how to get that copy of your credit report to Atlantic Repair LLC. We will go over the report with you personally and tell you what you need to get the job done. Now, for the entire summertime, we are giving the entire dispute, the one dispute, not the whole year, just one dispute of anything that's wrong on your credit report for $99 once. Yes, $99 once. Is this cheap? Yeah, it is cheap. But you're not paying for the disputes, you're only paying for the administration charge. That's it, period. So, go and tell your realtor, look, there's this guy on the radio that's telling me that I can get my credit fixed for $99. Let him get in touch with us. The number to get in touch with is 201-214-2671. Look, it's your credit. Once it's fixed for as long as you don't screw it up. So, call 201-214-2671. We'll answer your questions for you. We'll get you back on the path. It's your life. Be good to it. Pyramid One Radio Network is the most unique radio network in the world. It's growing larger, faster than any informative radio network anywhere on this planet. On the show, we talk about problems in our countries, our world, and a lot more, including ancient civilizations, quantum science, paranormal, spiritual, new age, healing experts, past life regressions, ancient crystal skulls, conspiracy, and our real-time connections with other dimensions. We also have special guests that are the ingredients of our world community that help to make our planet a better place for everyone. My guests come from all over the world: Hawaii, France, Africa, Bosnia, England, Scotland, Holland, Canada, Mexico, and many, many more countries. Just go to www.pyramidonenetwork.com and click on Bob Charles Show blogs to see the menu
of guests week to week. You can also call into the shows by dialing 1-843-300-1399. Help us to help humanity, and listen and learn to the shows you will be hearing more of right here on Pyramid One Radio Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to inform you on how to call into the shows you are hearing on Pyramid One Worldwide Radio Network. Once the show starts, just dial 843-300-1399. Again, that number is 843-300-1399. Also, you can write the shows by just writing you questions in the chat room. The hosts and guests can see these, and all of the questions will also be forwarded to the host and guests. Please enjoy the show and voyage into subjects you are about to begin.
This is a Pyramid One International Network presentation. Hi, and welcome to PyramidOneNetwork.com. Let me tell you about the person that's coming up, the host. It's going to be your host tonight. Her name is Lori Spagna. Lori radically transformed her life after a series of near-death experiences while living in Maui. She's a best-selling author of the book, How Psychic Are You? 7 Simple Steps to Unlocking Your Psychic Potential, as well as Animals in the Afterlife, and Learn Animal Communication and Telepathy, as well as the author of an upcoming book, 2 Years in Maui. Lori has for over 20 years experiences in serving humans and animals around the world, and is an international recognized speaker, author, and teacher who provides seminars and workshops for spiritually minded animal lovers, and about how we can improve our lives by learning from our animals. As a spiritual teacher, visionary, lightworker, starseed, intuitive, and healer, Lori teaches about ascension, and he acts as a guide to awakening spiritually minded animal lovers, lightworkers, starseeds, and wait hours. Lori provides transformational experiences for people and animals as she assists them in aligning with their true source. She also teaches classes on animal communication and telepathy, intuitive development, connecting with your high self, animals in the afterlife, locating lost animals, the Akashic Records, and spiritual dog training for masters. Go to LoriSpagna.com and learn more about Lori, your animals, and yourself. Right now, may I introduce to the world, to the universe, Lori Spagna. Oh, yeah.
Hello, hello.
Oh, you there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, are we having a good time or what?
How you doing?
I'm doing.
How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's
Okay.
another day.
It's what?
It's another day on planet Earth.
Is it really?
Another day to awaken.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Let me just get this call. Okay, we got a whole bunch of calls
Your
here.
callers coming in already?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. I want to tell everybody on the phone that just stay there. Don't move.
Yeah, hang in there. We've got some really awesome stuff to cover tonight, and we're going to be also covering. We have such an amazing guest tonight. I want to introduce her. But before we get into chatting with our guest, I want to just talk to some people, you guys, about what's going on planet Earth a little bit, give you some quick announcements, and and then we'll get underway. So let me just first say, we know we've just opened kind of a gateway, is a good way to explain it, in preparation for the Lion's Gate, which is also in a way its own gateway, which is coming up on August 8th, right? So we just have some portals, energetic portals that are lining up on planet Earth for new ascension energies coming into our planet, that we're aligning with, to up-level our consciousness, to up-level planet Earth consciousness, to align us with higher timelines for higher potentials. And the Lion's Gate on 8/8 is going to be a big opening, which I know you know, Bob, is paving the way for our upcoming eclipse on August 21st.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we know from other shows that our eclipse is always about really transcending our old reality, our old states of consciousness, up-leveling our consciousness and aligning ourselves with higher frequencies of consciousness. So there's a big window ahead, is what we could call it, in terms of linear time, which has really just started, this really July 15th. This just started opening. It's going to accelerate and amplify into August 8th, which is the Lion's Gate portal window. We'll talk about that more in upcoming shows, and we'll talk about it tonight too with our guest, and then into and through August, and really amplifying up to August 28th. So this is a lot of stuff that's about to initiate more change, as if we hadn't had enough already on planet Earth. Accelerated consciousness for humanity, accelerated awakening. So when things are seemingly going a bit haywire, if they are, it's opportunity for us as ascended beings to further our awakening, right? To amplify consciousness. These are supposed to be gifts for humanity. These are not supposed to be turbulent times in the sense of we don't have to experience it with turbulence. We don't have to experience it with chaos. We can experience it with a different point of view, from a different perspective, from an alignment, or from an alignment with divine source, which is what it's really meant to do. It's meant to bring us all into a new kind of harmony. So, all right. So our guest today, you guys are going to love her. She's so wonderful. And we're going to get into this and much more when we bring her on. Let me just say a couple of quick announcements. Really quick announcements. Number one. So we hear a lot of typing in the background, Bob. I'm not sure what that is, but I can hear it.
Never mind, but she knows who she is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we can hear everything because mics are on. So just a couple quick announcements before we introduce our amazing guest. First, if you want to know more about Lion's Gate, and I'm going to be doing we're definitely going to be doing some sacred energy activations and sacred downloads for the Lion's Gate. So if you want to get involved with that with me, head over to LoriSpagna.com. Check out the live events tab. You can check out the sacred energy activations that are coming up, the speed activations, and certainly get in on the community at LoriSpagna.com so we can let you know when those things are happening, the exact dates, and how to register. And you can also learn about the upcoming class, Exiting the Matrix. That's going to be a 9-week course with me, with plenty of healing, activations, attunements, alignments, shifting out of third dimensional consciousness and third dimensional reality, not out of the physical body, awakening and activating light body, Christed codes of ascension and awakening, and shifting into and aligning with fifth dimensional reality, unplugging and disentangling from the third dimensional matrix without leaving your body or your loved ones behind. They all come with you. Just a whole new reality. So you want to learn about that, head over to lauriespagna.com under the live events tab and click on exiting the matrix. And you'll be able to join us there for that. And plus you'll get so much more when you join the community. And then finally, last announcement is the Sacred Dolphin Journey. Our retreat is filling up. Yay, it's coming up very soon. So we swim with the wild dolphins in Bimini, the Bahamas. We practice animal communication. We do lots of healing for ourselves. We do light worker work and grid work where we're connecting with all ascended beings on the planet, including star family nations, star families, and we could call them extraterrestrials. They don't really typically like that word in my communication with them, but especially connecting with the dolphins as our star brothers and sisters, and connecting with other states of consciousness and reality as we connect with the dolphins in Bimini. So join us for that. That's coming up Sunday, August 27th through September 2nd. So that's a little over a month away. If you're interested in joining us in swimming and healing with the dolphins, you head over to lauriespagna.com under the live events tab and scroll down to Sacred Dolphin Journey. It's an amazing retreat. Amazing light workers, fabulous fun and frolicking and playing with the dolphins and with one another and with the ascended timeline and the ascended energies, the energies of ascension and awakening. So, okay, those are my key announcements. With that, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to introduce you are going to love Aurora Juliana Ariel. She's our guest this evening. I want to tell you, I met her at the Conscious Life Expo. We spoke on the Ascension panel together. I sat next to her. I loved what she shared. She has such a beautiful energy about her. Let me just tell you about her as we're introducing her. So she's the chairwoman, founder, and executive director of a 7-star global healing mission of 7 vehicles of positive planetary change. The Aurora Trust, Temple of Sacred Alchemy, AEOS, Institute of Advanced Healing, TheQuest University, Earth Vision Foundation, and Sacred Alchemy Films. So whether it's pioneering work in the psyche, healing her global healing ministry, bringing about her landmark discoveries in global conferences, writing books, facilitating healings, leading trainings, or expressing her musical talents, Aurora Juliana Ariel possesses the proverbial Midas touch. Her brand of alchemy is of the sacred sort. It's like yielding a gold one can only discover from within. And she's really facilitating that and helping others to awaken that within them. She's a pioneering doctor and scientist. She's an author, a musician, an entrepreneur, and producer. She's a mystic like me and a healer. Aurora is a Renaissance woman for the new millennium. She's a best-selling author, and she's the creator of TheQuest and an award-winning author of Earth 2012 to 33 series, or is a pioneering doctor whose research and work has given her a profound understanding of the psyche and the tools to heal for humanity, really. She has successfully healed conditions once thought incurable, irreversible, or unchangeable. So those of you out there looking for healing, you're going to love this show. She's helped release individuals from life sentences of suffering, and her work is literally a living testimonial. She's now sharing her alchemical keys with the global community, including ours right here on Pyramid One, and she's helping others to realize a higher density than the fate of their human programs would dictate, aka the third dimensional reality of limitation, right? Limitation and suffering. She's dedicated her life to the advancement of humanity into an age of freedom, enlightenment, and peace. And she has founded a vast humanitarian endeavor with this 7 vehicles that we were talking about. This is 7-star healing. It's a global mission that includes, as we mentioned, the Aurora Trust, the Temple of Sacred Alchemy, the Institute of Advanced Healing, TheQuest, University, Earth, Vision Foundation, AEOS, and Sacred Alchemy Films. So I'm going to let Aurora talk more now, because I can go on introducing her and talking about her for a lot longer. But let's have Aurora come on. Aurora, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you here today.
Aloha, everybody. I am really excited. And what a good link up, Australia to Sedona today.
Ah, that's awesome. Wait, are you in Australia?
No, I thought you were.
Oh, no, I'm in Florida. I'm actually in New York right now.
Okay, well, I guess East Coast Sedona.
Close to Sedona. So welcome. So Aurora, why don't you start off, since our guests probably don't know you, or maybe some of them do because you're out there, with like I am, we're out there on world stages these days. But why don't you tell us a little bit in your own words about your background, sort of not so much the bio, but more like talk about yourself so we can get to know you and let us know how you got to doing what you're doing in your own words. Let's start there.
Okay, well, when I was a teen, I started awakening, remembering, and I had a lot of divine visitations and visions of the future and downloads of helping me to understand the planetary equation, the dire potentials facing humanity, and how humanity was fast hurtling towards what could be another cataclysmic disaster on a global scale. But that also many of us had come in at this important significant time to assist humanity and to bring forth that ascension process, or demonstrate the ascending out of the old programs, old patterns into our authentic selves, showcasing a way out for humanity and helping turn the tide so that we could move into a more enlightened era.
Yes. Love that. And I mean, you mentioned sort of some of these dire situations. I, just for the record, because I know what my position is on that there's really nothing dire, that everything is handled and already resolved on the higher realms, and we're just sort of ascending into those higher realms. But can you share your perspective on that so we can alleviate any fears that might be initially triggered just by hearing that kind of thing? Because people do tend to immediately go to fear when they hear stuff like that.
No, because we're turning the tide on all of it. When
Yes.
we came into the planet, the slower evolving souls were having coming through their programs and patterns and behaviors, beliefs. They were creating all kinds of havoc and disasters and setbacks, as we've seen as we look at history. And now, through all of us coming in at this time, there's a whole resurgence and awakening and a global renaissance taking place. And all the dire potentials that were already set in motion from people's unconsciousness of the past, so many have been transformed already.
Yes.
That's what we're about. As we came in, we took on all these patterns and programs of beliefs from the family lineage and our the soul lineages. And what happened is we, for a while, got lost in it, and many people were having a hard time understanding what was going on when we came because of the amnesia and going through all that. However, as we've woken up and garnered the tools of transformation and started clearing through all these programs and patterns, we are in this incredible ascension into our authentic selves and bringing out our offerings, which is creative global renaissance. And we're moving quickly into a beautiful, enlightened era. So nothing to be afraid about and nothing to feel burdened around all the programs and patterns we've been wading through. All of this is part of our cleanup and restoration earth project.
Yes. I love that you say that. And I love the way you said, we've just cleared out so much of our own, old programs that those old fears and things are just not even issues anymore. But so you mentioned a false reality. I've heard you talk about this. What would you say about humanity being encoded with a false reality? Can you talk about that a little bit? I think people will love hearing about this.
Yeah, it's been going on for eons here. And when there was that descent back in the time of Lemuria and the consciousness of the people, where they went into what you would call more human programs, and all of those limiting beliefs and patterns and things that then started out picturing in the outer reality and changed the world from a beautiful Eden to the kind of world we're in now, where there's wars and illness and disease, all these things that are not known in the higher realms when people don't have all the shadow material in their psyche or in those golden ages.
Yeah. So what do you say to people who are experiencing this kind of like false reality? Because obviously we know we're seeing the polarity where there's those of us on the ascension timeline. I mean, to me, everyone's on an ascension timeline right now. The descending timeline has already dropped off. That was a separation of realities. But everyone's on ascending timeline. But right now, the bulk of the masses are still unaware. I call those really third wavers. They're completely unconscious. They just haven't woken up yet to the higher frequencies and the ascension timeline. What do you say about people in that experience? And maybe also you can include how they can heal their lives and change their destinies through the awakening and ascension process. What would you like to share with us about that, or could you share with us?
Well, what an interesting thing that I found in thousands of sessions and cases is that a reoccurring story emerged of souls coming from very high realms into this time point in the millions, really got 400 million at this point, to help avert the disasters and enlighten the humanity and accelerate through this time point in the ascension, accelerate and be the manifest reality that is the ascension, and by that change, inspire, uplift, and bring all of humanity with us. So what I'm finding from the inner work, and I developed a breakthrough psychological soul healing system, and so I've done a lot of inner work, and what I find is that when we do the inner work and we're really healing these aspects of self that are from these ancient times and from our family lineages, there's a link that occurs that actually affects then the larger spectrum in the psyche of humanity, facilitates a mass healing.
Yes.
Yeah, and so as we're all doing this work, and we're literally transforming the baser aspects of ourself into the gold of our true nature, which I call my healing work, Sacred Alchemy, and we are ever dialing new future potentials doing it. So we're raising up to higher dimensional levels of consciousness, and we're moving the timelines into more beneficial futures. And how that works very simply is the inner aspects within us that are holding the programs and the beliefs are creating a reality that includes hardship and relationship issues and illnesses and all these kind of things that we have to deal with on the planet. And as we heal those aspects as they arise, as issues arise, as we're challenged, if we get onto a masterful path of what, I've been teaching for some time, and we are healing these aspects as they arise, what we're doing is changing our whole timeline, transforming those deep levels in our psyche and caverns and wounding and beliefs and programs in our family lines, all humanity. We're redialing to a new future, and the whole outer reality shifts. And it seems like magic because, it's a holographic reality that we're in, and it's easily changeable, highly mutable. So as we do inner work, we change our inner reality and we shift our outer reality. And that's how we're birthing a golden age of light in the midst of, pretty dark times. So it's It's incredible what we're all doing. It's a very exciting time to be a part of this movement of positive change.
Yes, that was a really beautiful way of explaining it. I thank you so much for that. So I want to ask you some more questions, but right before we do, first I just want to tell people, because I didn't say your website before, I just want to announce your website, because there's a lot of people on the chat room or on the internet listening, and they can take a look. It's Aurora, I'll spell it for folks, or we can spell it, but it's, and I know Bob has it in the chat room, probably you typed it in there, right, Bob?
Yeah, the live links are there.
There's live links there for
live
people,
links.
but let me just announce it anyway. It's Aurora Juliana Ariel.com. So that's AURORA JULIANA ARIEL. Aurora Juliana Ariel. So people can check Aurora's website out as well, aurorajulianaariel.com. And you know what? We did get someone on the chat room asking a question. So let's see if, Aurora, you want to tackle this. She says, "Hi, Lori and Bob. I'm calling in on my phone." Oh, let me just see what her question is. Oh, she's asking about animal questions. Okay. So it's Christina asking about her golden retriever who passed away. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry, Christina. I understand, because I know you've called us before. Here's what I can say. I want to keep chatting with Aurora for now, but I can tell you, I promise you, we are eternal beings. We are eternal beings, and that includes our animals. And maybe, we can cover this if we have some time, but let me come back to Aurora for now, since it's not a question directly for her. I didn't realize that. And if we have some more time, we can maybe address that some more. But I send you and your animal companion my deep compassion and love, because I know even if we know we're eternal beings and we can know it in our minds, it's not so easy to let go, And one thing I would definitely recommend too is, I remember spirit. I remember you calling in about spirit in the past. But it's helpful. You might want to go into the archive and look for any of the shows where we did downloads from divine source consciousness on death and the highest truth about death. Because when you get that download and the alignment with divine source on this concept of death, it shifts your perspective, and it really does shift your energetic awareness to really align and attune. Your animal companion spirit has shifted out of physical form, but exists absolutely, wholly, and completely as a conscious being who completely knows himself as a being who, of course, had the name Spirit and lived with you and continues to live on, alive and well, just without this physical body. And I hope that's helpful, at least, to have that awareness. He never leaves you, and his love for you will never leave you either. That bond continues. It's eternal. I hope that's a little helpful. Aurora, maybe you want to add to this, because you, of course, you're an ascended being. You have so much insight. Would you maybe want to add anything to that? You know what? I think, Bob, we maybe need to adjust her headset or her sound, her mic.
She's yes.
You there, Aurora? Do we still have you?
I hear she's.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe you could just increase even the volume even on your computer. Even one thing you could answer, Aurora, is, like when a person loses an animal companion or a loved one or any kind of anxiety, like any kind of stress or anxiety, how does a person, do you think, could they go from anxiety to peace in just minutes? What's one way you might recommend for that?
I developed TheQuest 7 Steps, a sacred alchemy process, and I give my book free off my website when people sign up for my newsletter. And that can help you so that when you have an issue, when you're upset, brokenhearted, angry, whatever's going on, it helps you access that part of you and take it through the 7 steps into a complete transformation, transfiguration, and immediately you're back into your authentic self and all of that, and its history has been resolved.
Yes.
And then on the dog, he looks like he does want to come back and be with you, Christina. At least he's very close to you, and I see an energetic of wanting to come back in. So maybe he will be one of the new puppies.
Oh, yes, that's lovely. I'm so glad you answered that. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
That's what I see.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's lovely. I didn't go there because I didn't want to. I was so focused with you, but you went there. That's wonderful. So glad.
He came in strong.
Yeah, I get that. He's still definitely still very alive and well. Like alive and well and around her for sure. So, all right, so that's good. So, and you would recommend also for Christine to go to your website and can get that free giveaway on Sacred Alchemy.
Yes.
Okay, you're on TheQuest.
It's called TheQuest. Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny.
Yeah. Okay, TheQuest. So, what initiated your quest? Tell us what initiated it for you.
Well, after the awakening and all the visions, and I aligned with a planetary conscience that had been awakened, and realized I was here to be a vessel of healing and light. And I didn't know what it all would look like, but I had this inner knowing, and that all I needed to do was follow my inner divine self, which I've done unfailingly to this moment, and it turned into all this. And the catalyzing factor that really brought me more in depth into the healing field and to find answers, and which allowed me to make a lot of landmark discoveries that are helping people transform their lives very fast and actualize a greater potential than what their human programs would dictate, was my mother becoming extremely, seriously mentally ill when I was 19, out of the blue. And so for the next 30 years, it was like that grist in the oyster that drove me to find every remedy and to develop advanced healing protocols in the quest, a psychological soul healing system, and make it in a form that anyone can do it as self-healing. And then that went into all the courses and healing products and this massive thing now. So it's that without my mother, without all that heartbreak, without me also needing to heal my heartbreak and devastation and, the horrors of the nightmare of it all these hospitalizations and other things that were taking place, I developed this as a self-remedy, and then it became an offering for the planet.
Yes, awesome. And I know it is sometimes our deepest pains, like that must have been a very, just so extraordinarily challenging and painful to have to go through that with your mom, and yet you birthed out of that something so beautiful, this quest, life mastery path. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about the life mastery path and how it can help people to master their psychology and actualize their full potential and really fulfill their hugest destiny, just like it helped you. It was born out of your experience with your mom. How can it help others?
Yes, I definitely live this. I have proven it. It works. And what it looks like is that I train people, usually over a year training, in one of the programs, either the Sacred Alchemist or the Life Coach Counselor certification. And so the way I train is I help people actualize their greatest potential and heal tons of the unconscious material, and as I'm also training them in how to heal and help others. So the master keys of it are basically to understand that in any moment, we can make that choice. If we're going to live out of our shadow self, let's just call it, for simplicity, which is the conglomerate of all of our programs and patterns and beliefs, and these younger parts of us that are wounded and limited and have gone through all these things, and that are calling for attention and healing. Or we can be in our authentic selves. And up until now, the way people have strived to be in their authentic self is by spiritually bypassing the negativity, the issues, the things that are coming up for them to deal with. And so we saw this mass exodus for a long, long time now of mental and spiritual bypass of the programs that were running in the psyches of humanity that were actually creating all the disasters in everybody's lives. So that is why people could be pretty high consciousness and loving, yet have continual challenges happen to them. And this is one of the areas that have been really hard for a lot of the spiritual community who are striving through all the spiritual methods to lead, a loving and pure life.
Yes. It is. It's so challenging because on the one level, yes, we're clearing this stuff out. And at the same time, we're really doing our best to lead, a high integrity, pure light, life of love. And then we're also doing our best to be of service, because if you're on this path, you're really doing your best to be of service and assist others. You already are, are awake to that. So, I mean, I love that what you're saying here, because it's sort of like, it's just a whole nother way of doing it. It's like you're getting to something much deeper.
Yes, yeah, because it's hard just to make that choice to be loving when you're feeling so much anger. So what do we do? And a lot of people are like, try to take a walk or go meditate, but we're not addressing that essential piece that just came up. And if we would address it, if we would heal it and transform it, what would happen is we graduate on the next level of our ascension into a greater aspect of who we are and be on a whole nother vantage point, see life from a more rarefied consciousness. And we would have cleaned up a big mess for our families and humanity.
Oh my God, yes. So true.
So this is like a missing key, one of the alchemical keys I bring forth. And it's so essential. And a lot of these keys are in my latest book that just came out, The Sacred Alchemist, Alchemical Keys to the Ascension. And that is all written by my divine sponsor. So that one is not like TheQuest where, I brought out a lot of information from an inspired aspect of myself and the knowledge I had attained. This book is all, you just hold it and you undergo a transfiguration. What is important?
Because it's light encoded, is that right? It's light encoded?
All my products are. And that one, it just is right now straight off the Divine Press that just came out on the solstice. The important thing to remember is we don't need to flounder, and be disconnected and in the throes of all this misery all the time, not knowing what we're doing and feeling lost when the issues come up. If we can just understand one thing when they come up, that this is my next piece to heal for myself, all humanity, my family. This is my sacred offering. And I'm going to stop when I get the chance, and I'm going to embrace this part of me and listen to her or him. And with love and compassion, take her through an inner process. I love the one I created because you get so much good information out of it, and transform it and come into that illumined state of being again. And this is in minutes. You can do it in minutes. So we don't need to be 8 days depressed or brokenhearted or frustrated with Henry for 8 years. We really can clean this stuff up fast. I mean, just really fast. And when you do the inner work, there seems to be that it's an important key to our ascension right now and our soul acceleration, because it speeds everything up and puts us on a fast moving train when we do this work. Whereas we're only doing spiritual practices and being a good person and being of service, we're not doing any cleanup, and we're not having that acceleration and awakening and coming into greater and greater aspects of ourselves. We're missing out on this illumined pathway of the ascension. We're being good people and we're bringing an offering, but if everyone wants to be a part of the ascension, if you want to clean all this up and help restore the planet, and you don't want these adversities playing out in you and everyone creating so much suffering on earth, we got to do the inner work. That's the essential piece to the puzzle.
I can't tell you how much I love that you're saying that, because, you know, one of the things I sort of teach about a lot and share about a lot is how the law of attraction movement is sort of like a dead end road, because if you're not willing, if you're only going to focus on, you know, all positivity all the time, and you're not willing to work with that shadow aspect, which you're exactly what you're saying is right. It's like, it doesn't take a long time. You can transcend it so quickly. When we do downloads, or when I connect in with source and I clear something out, you know, remove programming or belief systems or something energetically, and then replace it with source consciousness, it takes moments to clear something out. And you can clear it out through your lineage and your ancestry. I know you know this. So when people are just sort of doing the spiritual path to live, you know, live a good life, that's wonderful. And to be of service, that's wonderful. And, you know, playing with the law of attraction or being all positive, that's wonderful, but it's not enough during ascension. It's not enough. And it can be kind of its own dead end road in a way. And I've seen a lot of friends who even my colleagues and friends who will go through their emotions, or they'll work through their pain body, but they're still not going on a deep enough level to clear out the base level programming that somehow is linked into their, what I call their morphogenetic field. They're constantly changing, shifting, vibratory state of being through other dimensions of reality, through other time-space continuums, to get it at the root core, the root, at the causality, the point of cause. So anyway, I get that you're saying that, and I'm just kind of repeating what you're saying in another way. So thank you.
I learned it the hard way. I was such a little master of spiritual bypass.
Yes.
In my 20s. I mean, I had it down because I just had a naturalness to be able to cruise in the authentic self. And I didn't know anything any better. Yet when I came into my 30s, I entered what turned out to be just an excruciatingly painful, heart-rending relationship that broke my heart. Mm-hmm. And today there is a medical condition that's like broken heart syndrome. Because what happens when we have a broken heart is these chemicals release, and it can break down the heart and even take you out of embodiment. And that's how all these emotions work. They break down a certain area in the body, and that's why we have so much illness. And so what happened for me is I had 2 heart attacks in 6 months when I was 33, and I had 4 small children.
Oh, my goodness.
I was told that I was going to debilitate very quickly to death, that I had contracted a double whammy heart virus and like two different strains. And I was really weak. I couldn't even get from the bedroom to the kitchen and get water. I was so weak. So what that did was, number one, I said no, and I'm not leaving my beautiful children. I came here on a mission, and so my no was very powerful. The power of no. And then it took me on an amazing journey, a 7-year journey, where I happened to find these pioneering doctors in the fields of alternative medicine and began training under them. And through that, I was able to keep myself from debilitating further, but I wasn't able to cure it. It was an incurable condition. And so it really drove me down into the psyche. I had to look deeper. I had to find out why, like what was behind my heartbreak. Why did I draw in an abuser? Why did I see no signs of it for a whole year? Then we get married and this eerie person comes out on the honeymoon, like the why. And as I went down deeper and deeper, I found St. Martyr pattern that was really instilled in the last 2,000 years, that when you're a saint or sage or spiritual person coming to give a gift to humanity, then, of course, we know the records. They get cancer, they have adversities, they're burned at the stake.
Right.
They die on the cross. And so that model I found is really embedded in the psyche of humanity, and it was major in my family and line and soul lineage. So
martyrdom, yes.
Yeah. So
yes,
I started
martyrdom,
yeah. That. Early on, after a year of that experience with the die, I just packed up my 4 kids and moved them out of there as soon as I got strength again. But then on the healing journey, I was able to really piece it all together, clean those deep levels in the psyche of the wounding, the brokenheartedness, the past life histories, the martyrdom, the beliefs around that, and vows. And then I was free, and I don't have a sign at all in my heart. A cardiologist told me, you haven't gone through anything, not a heart attack.
Amazing. Wow.
Anything. And the records are cleared in me from the inner work.
Yes.
And so I feel free. And having gone from something like that, a lot of times people don't recover. It was hugely devastating because I was so much in love, and I thought he was my twin soul. And these things people, carry for a lifetime and become bitter. And what happened for me is I cleared out of it to where I tell you the story, but I don't have any emotional resonance with it now. I might as well be telling you about a movie I saw. And I've been able to help countless women get free very fast from cycles of abuse and draw in a most beautiful mate. So it was a victorious journey for sure.
I love that. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't always realize that when they're going through those things. See, when you keep referring to the records, just for some people who are listening who might not know, what you mean is there's the Akash, the records of the Akash, or the Akashic records, which is really a very high dimensional frequency where information is stored on any unique soul, really on everything that has ever existed. So your soul has records of its existence. And what Aurora's saying essentially is she cleared out a kind of programming associated with martyrdom that really most of humanity does carry. And that programming, once it was cleared, she became free from all kinds of other associations with martyrdom, like, being burned at the stake in other lifetimes and all kinds of other painful experiences. And it echoed in her vibration so much that you suffered this kind of painful experience with this partner and all the heartbreak and the physical heart attacks that you were talking about. And by clearing it from the Akash and from the records, it was cleared from your entire existence, so much so that now when you're speaking about it, it's like talking about you in a movie, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing you say, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
it's like a weird story that I didn't experience. That's how free we can all become from the dramas and traumas of the past. So no matter what has happened in our childhood, if you were pounded as a child, molested, whatever has happened, that tainted your soul, made you feel wrecked or ruined, that you can't get over, the bitterness, the shame, I'm telling you, inner work will transform it. But you've got to do a process. You've got to be embracing those aspects of self and bringing them through a transformation, not just clearing the sorrow or like a Ho'oponopono, just releasing the negativity into the light.
Those levels are a little more surfacey. They're helpful, but they don't get to the
when you're in burden. Yeah, when you're burdened, it's really good just to take it off you and put it into a lake of fire or a flame of, white fire. But if you really want to heal the programs and the parts of you that are holding those records, that are living out of the misery still, then, do the inner work. And another key that's coming up that I'd love to share that I think is very essential to understand. And the more awareness we have on these things, the more masterful we can be when it starts hitting and all the emotions come up. It's really important to know and understand that when we get triggered in the moment, in the present,